guys, it's me, Shelby, and I'm back to help you through our next craft for this week for Camp Sanguinity. Today, we are going to be making model magic suns. I'm sure you're thinking, what on earth is that? So let me see if I can paint you a picture, and if not, we'll make it and we'll just figure it out together. But have you ever been walking down the street in a neighborhood, or maybe at your friend's house, or in a park, and you look, and on the side of a tree, like a real life tree, there's a hanging sun made out of like clay or a piece of pottery. It's kind of big and it has a 3D face, so maybe the nose sticks out or the eyes or the eyelids stick out, and it just hangs and looks really cool and pretty. That's what we're gonna make today, but we're gonna make it out of model magic instead of clay, because we don't have a kiln, which is where you cook your clay so it's all finished and doesn't break and sets really hard. So we're gonna make some of those on our own because it's summertime, we're at camp, and it sounded like a super awesome, fun thing to do. And we finally are hopefully getting into some beautiful Texas summer weather, so why not? You can make it for yourself, you can make it for somebody in your family, a friend, you can put it on your tree outside if you want. You could stick some string on it and hang it up later. There's a million different things you could do with this. But we're gonna go ahead and get rocking and rolling. First of all, let's make sure we have all the supplies we need. Today, thankfully, pretty cut and dry, pretty easy. You should have 3 packages of Model Magic. Everybody has white Model Magic. And then you should have a package of markers. Boop, boop, boop. That's it, that's all you need. The only thing you might need is an extra set of hands to help you open the Model Magic, or some scissors to cut it if it gets stuck. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and just open my markers and set up my workspace. Have y'all been enjoying camp this week? I know I definitely have. Camp for me, summer is like my favorite time of the year, besides Christmas and Easter. But summer, camp to me just screams summer and s'mores and swimming and all the fun things and arts and crafts. So I'm pretty pumped. It's been a pretty great week, and I hope the rest of the summer is just as fun as it's already been. And I've really enjoyed it because I've gotten to do a lot of different crafts this week that I haven't normally made before. So one of the things I enjoy the most about summer camp, besides s'mores and swimming and hanging out with your friends and staying up late, is I really like art and craft time. Because all the years I went to camp, whether it was church camp or camp with school or the camps I worked at as a counselor, like Camp Craft Lady like I'm doing now, such a blast. And I always look forward to what we were gonna make, because we always had really cool things we got to take home. Things that I hadn't ever made before. So I'm hoping that we'll have some new things for y'all haven't made. Guys, the Model Magic is fighting kind of hard this morning. Hopefully y'all are not struggling as much as I am with this, but you know what? Persistence is key, not giving up. I'm gonna keep pulling at it, and I bet it will just pop open really soon. Oh, look, there's a hole right here. Maybe it's coming through. Curious, how many of you have done Model Magic crafts before? I'm going to use the key in my pocket. Yeah? Have you specifically made something for school, or maybe you've just done an art and craft, or you've made like a little sculpture or figurine? I love Model Magic crafts. You can do all sorts of stuff with it. You can make 3D things and you let them dry, and after about 24 hours, they're completely set. So we don't need a kiln like we talked about for real clay. This is called air dry clay. So once we make this, we'll let it set for 24 hours, one full day. I know that seems like a really long time, but then it will be set and it'll be really hard, and you can hang it up and do things with it, and it won't get squished or it won't mess up your work if you accidentally touch it. So I think one of my favorite Model Magic crafts I've made before were Model Magic ice cream cones. That was really fun. We had some colored Model Magic and we swirled the colors in it and made it look like marbled ice cream and mint chocolate chip. It was really fun. So I'm looking forward to how today turns out. Because as you can see, our Model Magic is white. And I don't know, I consider the sun to be yellow. Maybe you think it's orange or orangey red, yellow, but I don't look at the sun and think, oh, the sun looks white today. So we need to figure out how to make our sun a different color. So I'm really excited for this marbling. There's 2 ways that we can give our sun some color. The first way I'm going to tell you is you can create your entire piece and then you can color it with your markers. That is an option. Or you can do what I'm going to do and you can color it as you go. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take one piece and I'm gonna put it in the center. And I think that this is gonna be the center of my sun here. I might add on to it later, and if so, that's okay. But I'm gonna leave some space for my sun. And then I'm gonna leave some extra clay because I think I'm gonna do some little rays to stick out. Then I'm gonna leave some more clay because remember we said how like the nose will stick out on our sun clays or our lips or our eyes. I need some more clay to be able to do that too. So I'm gonna put my extra clay to the side and then I'm going to grab my marker and I'm going to color on my Model Magic. Wait a second, you said build this whole thing and then color it. That's right, that's one way to do it. You can color it once it's fully built, or we can add in our own color. So what you'll do is you'll take whatever color you want, and if you want a purple sun, you can have a purple sun. That's totally fine, I don't mind. Again, I think the sun looks yellow. I think most people would say they think it's like a yellow or orange, but this is arts and crafts. So if you want to make a sun that is not yellow, that's totally fine. It's your project. So what you're gonna do is you're going to just give some color, whatever you choose, on top of your Model Magic. And we're gonna put our lid back on, stick it to the side so don't accidentally color on the table. And then we're just gonna start kind of rolling it and kneading it around. Now this might take a while, but the key, like we said earlier, is persistence. So I don't know how well you can see that, but I've already got some yellow showing through in my Model Magic from where I've been kneading it together. So the yellow is coming, so I'm gonna keep kneading and pressing and folding, and I'm gonna just try and get all of this yellow to come right up and cover all the white. And this might take a minute, and it might also take you adding more marker into your clay. So as you can see, I don't know if we can get a picture here, I have like a marbled yellow-white kind of situation. It's really cool, really pretty. We got our little streaks going on here. I'm gonna add some more yellow because I want my clay to look a little bit brighter. If you want yours to be marbled, you're welcome to leave it like that. Or if you are waiting to color until the end, that is totally, totally fine. What I'm gonna do this time is I'm even gonna color it on the back as well. So there's more marker inside the Model Magic. And that way, maybe when I need it, I'll get more color. Kind of looks like a lopsided donut with a hole in the center there. Speaking of donuts, while we're doing this, you can also make Model Magic donuts. So National Donut Day was not too long ago. I believe it was June the 4th is National Donut Day. And a really fun craft you can do is you can make donuts out of Model Magic, which is what they did here in the zone. They painted them, they added some sprinkles on them, and they looked almost good enough to eat. It was really, really cool. So word to the wise as you're doing this, when we put on our marker, as you can see, it was super bright. And then when we mix it in, it's not quite as bright. That's okay. It's not gonna be as bright as when you color on the paper. It's just gonna give it a little bit of color. So we're gonna keep working it. As you can see, it's turning a lot more yellow. I'm gonna add in a little bit more because there's still some white in the background. And I just wanna get mine a little bit more yellow looking. Is anybody here a big donut fan? So I love donuts. I love specifically donut holes. Don't ask me why, but I feel like they taste better than any other donut. But fun fact, maybe y'all knew this. Y'all probably did. I did not know this until probably 3 or 4 years ago. Donut holes come from donuts. I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. Hang on, let me explain. So I'm still mixing my marker here, guys. So keep mixing if y'all are mixing. I thought donut, like actual donuts, they rolled them out and put them together in a circle. Or like they had some sort of contraption that just made it into a big circle. I didn't think it was a cookie cutter type situation. And then I thought for donut holes, I thought they just punched a hole and put it to the side out of a big thing of dough. I didn't realize that It was like a big cookie cutter where it punched the center out and then it left the ring. So I was telling somebody one day how much I thought donut holes were just the bomb and they tasted so, so good. And that I thought they were better than regular donuts. And they told me that my mind was a little blown. Because even though they all come from the same dough, I still think donut holes taste better. Please tell me somebody else did not know that about donut holes. Okay, I'm the only one, that's fine. All right, guys, so I have got a little bit of a pale yellow going to my sun, and I am actually gonna leave it right like this. You can always come back later, and once we're done, you can color on your sun and give it some more color if you would like. If for some reason you change your mind, it's not quite exactly as bright as you thought, or if you just think it needs a little something else. So what I'm gonna do next is I'm going to shape the center of my sun. So if you haven't already, go ahead and shape your sun. You can make it in a big happy circle. You can make it in a little circle. You could make it 3D, kind of like a ball if you want it to be a 3D type sun. And then just flatten it out however you like. Okay, so I have my circle done, and now I'm gonna move on to my rays. So for my rays, I think I'm probably gonna do some orange and yellow. So I'm going to color them. I'm gonna set my little sun to the side. Happy sun. Is that a song? Happy sun? I'm making that up. I feel like it's a song. I'm not quite sure. But, so yes, guys, that is my, what I didn't know but learned about donut story. So I love donut holes. They're my favorite. They're the best. I also love a lemon-filled donut. I really like to have a white donut with white icing and the sprinkles on top. That one is just so good. Are y'all donut fans out there, I hope? What are your favorites? Chocolate with sprinkles, always popular, and chocolate. Does anybody like the long, twisted, braided one with the icing on it, and then it has like sprinkles on top? I always like to get that one when I was little because it looks the biggest, and then when you get a choice of only one donut, I felt like I was getting the biggest donut, like a twofer, just because it was so big. So I'd be like, oh, I want that one. Anybody else do that? Yeah, good choice, good choice. So guys, we colored our marker. We are mixing in our color. Again, if you, for some reason, you want to color it at the end, that is 100% okay. Go ahead and work on making maybe some rays, or if you want your sun to have hair or any other detail to go on your sun during this time. So we're mixing it in. I got like a cool orange yellow marble going. I don't know if you can see that really well or not, but it looks really neat. It's got like little swirly whirlies in it. So I am pretty happy with that color. I'm gonna move my sun back, and I'm gonna take my model magic, and I'm gonna just start shaping some rays to go around. You can have, I feel like, rays any way you want. You don't even have to have rays if you don't want rays on your sun. I'm gonna give mine some. The trick is you need to stick it together so when it dries, it will hold on. So be sure when you get your finger that you press it on real good. That way it's attached. Because if not, when you dry, it'll fall apart, and that's okay. But then it'll be really hard to stick one unified piece. You'll have to go back and glue it, and it takes too much time. Alrighty. Gonna make another ray here. Making these suns just makes me want to go out and do like lake activities, boating or canoeing or swimming. Just makes me think of like the perfect warm summer day where you go out with your friends and you just hang out all day long, and then you get so hungry and you eat all the food and all the ice cream and you sleep like a champ. Does anybody love to have those days at camp? Yes. What is your favorite camp water activity? I'm not gonna say lake because some camps don't have lakes, but usually most of them have a pool or will have some sort of water games that you can do. Does anybody have a favorite? Canoeing, kayaking, always fun. Has anybody tipped theirs before? I was at church camp one year, and this kid was in this big metal canoe actually. And he wanted to go, but I think all of his friends were busy, so he asked if he could check out the canoe by himself. So he checks this canoe out, and I was sitting on the kind of the sandy part of the lake, just watching everybody do their thing. And this kid comes by in his canoe, and I looked up and I saw him, and then all of a sudden he was gone. His whole canoe went loop and flipped over because he was not heavy enough for the canoe, and he put too much weight on one end and the canoe flipped. But he knew how to swim, he had his life jacket on, and he was able to get out of the boat, and he laughed about it and thought it was hilarious. And then I think he ended up returning the canoe with some help and waited until his friends were there later so that way he could successfully go canoeing. But it was pretty funny since everybody ended up, you know, being okay, and it was just a little wet. So we got canoeing. What about paddle boating? Has anybody done that before? Yes, paddle boating is a workout. So I don't know if you've done that before, but you sit in kind of a boat, like a small square rectangular boat, and there's seats, and you have pedals like a bike on your side, and then your friend sits next to you and you have pedals on a bike on their side. And then to make it go, instead of rowing like you would a kayak or a canoe, you have to pedal. And it is a workout. And you don't think it's bad until you get to the middle of the lake, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh man, I'm real tired, or I'm really hungry. And you look back behind you, and you have to go all the way back to the shore, pedaling. Has anybody had that happen before? Yes, I've done that as well. I think I would probably prefer to canoe rather than paddle boat, because sometimes the canoe will kind of maintain its motion and keep going in the water, but the paddle boat seems to be a little heavier, in my opinion. I could be wrong. And so once it stops, it stops. It doesn't have much give. It really makes you do all the work. All right, so we got kayaking, we have paddle boating. What about water games? Who likes the water games? We like the sponge over the head, or the water gun wars, or the water balloon wars. Yes, those are super fun as well. Super fun. I like slip and slide day the best. Whenever you pull out the really big slip and slides with the soap, and then just people are shooting off left and right because they run so fast and just, those ones are really cool. Does anybody have a really cool slip and slide story? I am sure y'all do. I'm sure there's somebody out there who has a very wild story. And then lastly, the pool. Yes, I feel like the pool is always a hit. Got the water slide, the diving board. You can always just lounge around and float on a float if you want. I mean, there's a million things you can do in the pool. How many of you prefer the slide over the diving board, so the slide is cooler? Couple. How many of you would say, the diving board's where it's at all day? Yeah. I think I prefer the diving board, actually, because I feel like sometimes the line for the slide was longer, so I'd go the diving board, and it made me work on doing cool tricks, and then I learned to do things I wouldn't normally learn how to do. But I do love to go down the slide too, so I'll say it's equally as cool. I don't feel like you can go wrong way either way with that. All right, guys, so I am finishing up my last ray on my sun. Now you can spend as much time as you want with your rays, because once they dry, they will look like that. Once that 24-hour period is up, that day, you will not be able to change them. You can even get your marker and roll it out if you want it to be more flat, or if you want a more smooth appearance. So get it how you like it now. I'm gonna use the side, and a neat little trick I like is it kind of can help you make some smoother edges if you kind of bump it on the side like that. There we go. Does anybody have any plans of what they want to do with their Model Magic Sun? I think I'm actually going to give mine to my grandma to hang in her garden, maybe on the side of her tree. She really likes gardening. She doesn't really have any summer decorations. She has 4th of July decorations that she'll put up that always look super neat, but she doesn't have really any just summer specific ones. So maybe I'll give her this sun to hang in her garden next to her 4th of July stuff. Kind of brighten it up a little. I really like the marbling on the Model Magic. Did anybody get any really cool patterns for mixing theirs? Yeah? Did anybody know before today that you could color Model Magic with markers? Yes, I learned that not long ago. I'm like, well, that is just super cool, and I need to try that. And I tried it at another activity with Model Magic one time, and it worked really well. So I wanted to share that with y'all. So if you ever have Model Magic for school or for a craft, and it's not the color you want, just go get you some markers, some washable markers. And remember, you can color it and knead it in. And then you can make whatever color you want, because they don't sell gray Model Magic that I know of, or black, or even green. I think they usually have like white, pink, like a pinkish red, a blue, and a yellow. So now you know how to make all your colors. All right, guys, so I have my son with my rays, and now I'm gonna work on some facial decorations. So for my son, I want it to look kind of silly. So if you ever have a chance with your caregiver's permission, ask them first. Google some pictures of suns that hang on the trees, like I just typed in Model Magic sun, but you can type in like hanging sun tree decor. And they have some pretty silly little features. They're made to look pretty silly. So I'm gonna actually make my features first and then go back and color them. So I'm gonna give it like some little 3D eyeballs, and then maybe some really big eyebrows, and maybe some lips and a silly nose. So go ahead and work on whatever features you want to go. You can put it all on and color at the end. You can color as you go, again, whatever you like. Or you can do like I do, and you can kind of get an idea of what you want to go where, and then you can color. I'm doing that just to make sure that I don't color everything purple and then realize, oh no, I needed a blue piece. So that is what I'm doing here. I'm putting some eyebrows on. I think I'm gonna make a swirly whirly eye. And for whatever reason, this eyeball is reminding me of the heart of Tafiti for Moana, because it has the swirl of it. It is a really great movie. I feel like it's not even just a summer movie, but it's a great movie all around. Who loves any Moana fans? I'm a huge Moana fan. A huge, huge Moana fan. All right, I got some eyebrows. I got 2 eyes. I'm gonna work on maybe some lips. Some lips for my son. Does anybody have any favorite snow cone places they go to in the summer? Yes. So, I'm sorry guys, I got something in my eyeball. Snow cones are one of my favorite foods, and I could eat them all year long. I know Bahama Bucks sells them all year long, but there's just something about a snow cone in summer that's so good, and it just tastes better. But what is your favorite place to get snow cones from, and your favorite flavor or flavors? I feel like you can have multiple, because you have your basic flavors, you know, like cherry and tiger's blood. And then they have the special edition flavors where it's like Spider-Man or Harry Potter. And then I feel like that's its whole own category. I feel like that needs a whole thing to itself. So I love to go to the snow cone shop down the road, and they have the best ice. It just kind of melts in your mouth, and there's no big clumps. You know, the really soft shaved ice. Does anybody like the really soft stuff? Does anybody like the clumps? I had a friend who really liked clumps in their snow cone. That's okay, it's great. Everybody likes something different. I love to go down there, and they have that nice shaved ice, and my favorite basic snow cone is probably blue coconut, or the white coconut one. I really like those. But then they have a fancy one called, they have 2. They have Coconut Kiss, which is wedding cake, and I think coconut, and it is just phenomenal. It's like summer blew up in your mouth, and it's great. And then they have Silver Fox, which is wedding cake and vanilla, so it's very, 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 very sweet. But it is so good. So good. Does anybody have any suggestions of what I should try when I go back? I go to the snow cone stand almost every weekend. Like, the guy knows, I try to order new things, but I really, really like the things that I get. And he pretty much always has an idea, I feel like, of what we're gonna order. But any suggestions? My husband always gets cherry, so we always do cherry. Has anybody tried the Spider-Man one before? Is it good? And if so, what flavors are made up of Spider-Man? Could try Spider-Man. How about, does anybody put ice cream on top of their snow cone? Because apparently that is a new thing. You can order a snow cone with ice cream. Is it delicious? Okay, well, clearly I'm missing out and I need to try that. I saw one, it was like a chocolate covered flavored snow cone. And gonna pull that back up. I didn't get the bottom lip quite how I wanted. And it had ice cream in it. It was like chocolate cow flavor or something really silly sounding like that. But it had ice cream in it. And I was like, what? Ice cream on a snow cone? Does that even work? But since y'all are telling me it is, I'm gonna be brave and I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna try it. Maybe tonight, maybe I'll be wild, have a midweek snow cone. Alrighty guys, I have just about finished my facial features for my last piece here. I have eyebrows, I have some eyeballs, got a mouth. There we go. So on this one, I think I'm actually just gonna color my marker directly on to my Model Magic. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna roll out any areas. So get your marker if you want, roll out any areas that are maybe not quite as smooth as you would like. And then we'll go ahead and we'll put some decorations on them. Boink, boink. I think I'm gonna do silly colors. So maybe like a blue swirly eye. Boop, 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 boop. Color them all in. This one reminds me of a little cinnamon roll because it's all swirled. Color them all around. Boink. Then I'm just gonna kind of press it down to make sure I spread that color all around. And then I'm gonna do a purple eye on my next eyeball. We'll put that over here. And again, you're welcome to pull your eyeball back off or your facial feature that you made, and you can marble it like we did the rest. I will say if you color right onto the Model Magic like we're doing, it does leave a brighter color. So you can also make it varied. So I'm gonna do kind of pale in the background and really bright features. Oh, goodness. I'm gonna do, what do you think? Pink lips or red lips? Let's do pink. Thank you for your help, guys. Color in these pink lips. It's kind of fun. It's like I'm putting lipstick on somebody else. It's kind of weird. I cannot wait to see what y'all's Model Magic suns look like. Did anybody make a sun that was not just orange or yellow or red? Like a blue? Yeah, purple or green? Did anybody do something besides just eyes, a nose, and a mouth or eyebrows on their sun? Did you add hair? Or did you give like some silly little buck teeth? Or did you add on, what else could we put on? Oh, did you add on like a hat? Anybody? Nice, very nice. Oh, I forgot to put on a nose. I'll come back and do that. And then for some eyebrows, maybe I'll do, oh, that's hard, green. I don't know what color to do eyebrows. Green eyebrows. Yeah? Maybe? Okay, maybe, you know what, I'm gonna try and pull my eyebrow off. And then I'm going to marble it so it's not quite as bright. Yeah, there we go. And if you get marker somewhere else on your picture, you can always just take your finger and rub on it for a while and it'll kind of blend it. Or you can get more Model Magic and you cover it up, so no worries. if for some reason, if you got a little bit of color somewhere you didn't want it to originally go. So I'm gonna take my eyebrows, I'm gonna add some green in. Boop, boop, boop. When y'all have gone to camp, do y'all ever do like the ropes course or the nature things or the trust fall? Yes. Out of all of those things, what would you say is probably the most fun? There's somebody out there every year who always loves the trust fall. I will not say it's my favorite, but I do think it's important. It's important to learn to be able to trust other people and to conquer your fears and to know that people are supporting you and helping you. So I really like that. I really like the ropes course. Has anybody done the tower where you climb up and you have your harness on and you just jump off? You just fly. Ah! You make that face or maybe that face. Yes, I love that. I love whenever you get that little drop in the pit of your stomach when you're falling and then it catches you, the harness does, and you kind of soar around and you feel like a bird or something. So much fun. It's kind of similar to the zip line. I personally feel like that is a little bit more thrilling than the zip line, but I love the zip line. The zip line fans? Yes, the zip line is so much fun. Guys, I'm gonna make a nose real quick. I'm throwing model magic everywhere. For my little son. Does anybody have any funny stories from whenever they were doing the zip line? We had somebody one year who was riding the zip line and they got really scared, so they let go of the rope in front of them. So they were still very safe and they were buckled in and they were not in any danger at all. But they ended up leaning back and then they kind of rode the zip line like they were laying down on a recliner. And when they got down, they had a really good time. They were super glad they went and they did it. And they said they actually thought it was more fun than how other people had ridden the zip line. So then everybody asked if they could ride the zip line kind of laying back and upside down, which of course we said no to be safe, but it was kind of funny in the moment because I had never seen anybody before ride the zip line like that. It was something new. Maybe it was you, maybe you've done that. Maybe you have ridden the zip line upside down on accident. I feel like I made the nose a little too big, so I'm gonna squash it down some so it fits. And I'm gonna color this one when I put it on. There we go. I'm gonna make a big nose right there. And it's gonna kind of go tucked in right next to my eyes, right on top of my lip. I'm gonna make it look a little silly. Got some extra clay over there. And then maybe we'll do yellow. We'll do yellow on this one. Doop, 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 doop. Coloring, coloring, coloring. Color him around. For some reason, coloring this makes me think of roasting hot dogs. I think because I have the pinkish red lips and the yellow nose, it's making me think of mustard and ketchup. Does anybody like to do like a weenie roast when you go outside or go out to camp? Or maybe if you just go camping with your family or anything? Me too. I love to cook hot dogs over the campfire. You have to be very careful because unlike marshmallows, in my opinion, if you burn a marshmallow, it still tastes good. I love to eat mine burnt. If you burn hot dog, can't really do much after that. It just is a little grody. So it's definitely an art to be able to get it how you want it. All right, guys, I'm gonna see if I can peel up my little sun here and hang it up, hold it up for you. So we have here, I have my very first completed Model Magic sun. I'm gonna lay it back down because I'm afraid I'm gonna break it. And that way Abel can get a really good picture of it. Now the trick is here, guys, you have about 1 day or 24 hours for this dries. So if you decide later on you wanna go and maybe touch up this little ray here because it wasn't quite how you wanted, you are welcome to do that. But once you have it how you like, leave it for 24 hours so it will dry and harden. And then you can take this and you can do whatever it is that you like with it. You can give it to a friend. You can glue a ribbon on it and hang it on a tree outside. You can put a nail in the tree and hang it. The nail will not hurt the tree. You can hang it in your window. You could stick it on your windowsill. You could, I would not suggest putting it on top of like an oven or something that gets really, really hot, like inside of a car, because it'll get really brittle and then it'll break. So maybe the window would be okay of your house because it gets hot but not too hot. Or, you know, you could just make a bunch and then you could give them away to people as you see them at camp this year. I don't know, whatever you like to do. That is all that I have for you today, guys. I hope you all had a great time. Thank you so much for making Model Magic Suns with me. I had a blast. I hope you did too. And I hope you have a very wonderful rest of your day. Thanks, guys.